Hello, welcome back to the channel of nonsense. Now, if car brands were people, which car brand do you think would be the funny hooligan at the bar at 2 AM, regaling everyone with funny stories and a great sense of humour? I'm guessing you wouldn't say Porsche, because they're usually kind of quite uptight engineering types from Stuttgart, and everyone thinks Germans don't have a sense of humour. But as I've grown older, I've realised that Germans are some of the funniest people on this planet, which explains why I'm now driving down a green lane in a 911 worth 200 grand. Because why not? Anyway, this is my review of the 911 Dakar. Oh my God, there's a squirrel. Let's see how we get on. It's too dark for sunglasses. Yes, welcome back. We're not in Dakar, nor are we in the rainforests of Belize, although it's so humid and I'm so sweaty, it might as well be. We're in leafy Surrey down one of my local green lanes to test the £173,000 Porsche 911 Dakar. It's 470 horsepower, turbocharged four-wheel drive 911 with jacked up suspension, knobbly tyres, off-road bits and some proper adventure potential. And in this video I'm going to tell you what it's been like to live with on the road and doing the most extreme off-road I can do, which to be honest it's just like a muddy driveway, to be honest. It's not going to be an extreme video. Go and watch Harry Metcalf's video if you want to be seeing slid around a farm. In this video, I'm just going to tell you what it's like and if it's worth £173,000. I keep saying that because it's quite a lot of money, but it's also quite a lot of fun. Let's go. I've got to move the car for the next shot, but I'm definitely going to fall over in the river and get covered in mosquitoes. Ah, my foot is soaked. Adventure, Timothy. Right, I've come back to the lay-by of justice because I think if I stood near that swamp water any longer, I was going to get dengue fever or something, however you say it. But anyway, this 911 Dakar, £6,000 of options on it, £3,000 of shade green paint, which looks like bluey grey to me, but hey, maybe I'm colourblind. And £3,000 of farmer stares at car in the middle of my shots package. No, sorry, the Rally Sport package, which adds the half roll cage, the fire extinguisher, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so you've got £6,000 of options on it. Oh, it's got a sub-second clock on the dashboard as well. But I love the way this looks. I love that Porsche's given it the GT3 bonnet, which is carbon fibre reinforced plastics. That's carbon fibre underneath. And it just looks very wide, very menacing. I love the look of the semi-Fuchs style alloys. They're forged rims on this. You've got 20s at the back, 19s at the front, and these Pirelli, I think they're Pirelli Scorpion all-terrain tyres, which actually add to quite a lot of the driving experience on the road, as we will find out. But anyway, yeah, let's have a look at it and find out why it exists. I think I know now. Now, despite looking like a 911 GT3 that's walked through Mountain Warehouse and bought all the adventure stuff, it's a Carrera 4S engine under here. So it's a 3-litre twin-turbo, horizontally opposed 6, and it's got 480 horsepower, 570 newton-meters of torque, 3.4 to 60, 149 mile-an-hour top speed. So it's a fast car. But I just love the way it looks around here, this big fixed spoiler here, this big chunky towing hook, which I'm going to burn my hand on, and the big skid plate down there. Now on the roof, there's this unassuming little aerial bump. That's actually the electrical outlet, so you can stick a roof box on it full of your adventure stuff and presumably plug in a Yeti cool box or something. So you can arrive at your sand dune destination, crack open ein Amstel, I know that's not German, and yeah, have some beers. But I think it looks amazing. Let's talk about the rest of it. Now from the side, this particular 911 Dakar is giving me proper 911 Sports Classic vibes. Do you remember the manual gearbox 911 turbo thing that sells for about £350,000? Just because those alloys, I think it just looks really cool, really smart, this particular one. But anyway, because it's a 992, it's 4.5 meters long, it weighs about 1,605 kilograms. It's got rear axle steering. It's got a really nice fuel filler cap, just because, why not? But I think it looks amazing. Obviously you can raise the suspension up for off-roading and drop it down for road driving, so you can choose the car park stance of your choice. Right, it's a bit too cramped to get my tripod out, ho-ho, in here, so I'm just going to hold the camera and show you the Dakar's cabin. It's basically a bit like an explosion in an Alcantara factory, sorry, Racetec's factory. So you've got a Racetec's steering wheel here, and you've got bits along the dash there. You get the 918 bucket seats, as they're probably not called anymore, as standard. You can't fit a child seat to these, and after a while you might find them a bit uncomfortable if you're on the larger side, but you can de-spec them for free to have the 18-way memory seats, which are more comfortable. Now this one, doesn't have back seats. I don't think any of the Dakars have back seats, and obviously you lose them anyway if you fit the Rally Sports package with the roll cage. But my 5-year-old has climbed through there and sat there. Obviously I don't drive with her there. And being a 992, you've got the usual digital dashboard. So you've got two 7-inch screens at the side. You can have your maps and stuff there. And in the middle, you've got a big infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and all that good stuff on it. You've got physical climate controls there. Porsche does all this stuff really, really well. In this one, the important buttons are the suspension raise there, and then you can stiffen the suspension here, and loud exhaust, things like that. And your drive modes, if my camera's going to focus, all done on the steering wheel here. So you can see that you've got off-road, rally, sport, normal and wet. But I'll talk more about those in the driving bit. You've got a cup holder, you've got bugger all storage really, you've got a space for a phone under there of 2 USB-Cs, and you've got some reasonably small door bins there. More Alcantara. Sorry, Race Tags. I'm going to get sued. Right, we're going to start the driving bit with a bit of light off-roading. This is just one of my local green lanes. I've got the car set up in off-road mode. There is a rally mode, which is off-road but more rear biased and more performance-y. I've got the car jacked up to its maximum height. The parking sensors go mad because there's grass everywhere, but I'm hoping it won't do an automatic emergency stop. And to be honest, yeah, this is fine. I mean, this isn't a particularly challenging track, other than the fact it's getting a bit narrow. I'm sorry, Porsche. I shouldn't be doing this in a 911. Now, there is a river crossing up here. Should we see if the 911 Dakar can cope with a light bit of stream crossing? Don't crash into that hidden tree. Excellent. Right. Let's get down there and see if this can handle a bit of light riverage. It does feel a bit weird sitting in 918 carbon back bucket, going down a bumpy green lane, and to be honest, this is being graded so well by local council that I could probably get down here in almost anything. But I certainly wouldn't have bothered bringing a 911 down here. But yeah, this could be a green lane to a pub. Let's see how it copes with some of the bumpier stuff down here. Right, gets a little bit more nadgery here, what with there being a stream to drive across. Power through the water. A bit of slip from the back, and we are through. The 911 Dakar, it can green lane, and I'm just not worried about it being twatted on rocks or anything like that. Though it is getting a bit bumpy here, and there are some logs in the way. It's just the width. The width of it is the thing that's worrying me. Oh, I've got the 360 camera. That's helpful. Thank you, Porsche. Now, in all of the marketing materials, Porsche has shown this car drifting across sand dunes, and Harry Metcalf filmed one drifting around his farm. I don't have sand dunes and I don't have my own land. I'm not gentry. But it's nice to know on a sunny Sunday, I could come down here and wind up all of the One Life Live It defenders with snorkels and my wife has left me brigade in something with 470 horsepower, which I'm not going to use right now because there's too many squirrels about. Not because I'm scared. No, I just don't want to run any squirrels over. Oh, bump. Fine, fine. It's shrugging it off. Let's do it again. Oh, the grip it finds out of there is amazing. This is such a good toy. I've broken the windscreen wiper. Why is that broken? The wiper blade's fallen off. Sorry, Porsche. Scrap it. I'll buy it off you for 20 quid. Right, let's go for a drive on the road now in the 911 Dakar. You put your foot on the brake, twist the little nipple around here like in all 992s, and then choose your driving mode. So in a 911 Dakar, you've got your normal, you've got your wet, then you've got sport, so far so normal. Then you've got rally with an E on the end, rally. That is a performance-oriented off-road mode. It sends more power to the back, so you can like hang on to massive skids in the sand dunes just outside the Cotswolds. And if I put it into off-road mode, you really hear the lift system on this car as it jacks you up. That's a proper off-roading, tackling like big rocks and well, stuff that's gonna twat the underside of a normal 911. You can change the ride height using a switch over here as well, so you can mix it up. But anyway, I'm gonna touch the aluminium knob back into go and then pull out on this van. Let's go. Now, the second you really turn a wheel in the Dakar, you get the sense it is a more serious kind of seriously loud machine than a normal 992 Carrera 4S, because it just feels like there's way less sound deadening in here. It feels raw, and it does, I hate that I'm saying this, kind of feel like a performance competition off-road machine. It helps I've got a massive roll cage, but at certain revs, the rear view mirror disintegrates into a mist of blurs, and it's just like, yeah, it's had some of the niceness taken out of it. There's vibrations happening, and when you boot it, it just makes all these great noises, and you feel it coming alive underneath you in a way that a normal Carrera wouldn't, because they've made that a decent long distance cruiser as well as a sports car. And then you've got to deal with the knobbly tyres. They make a reasonable amount more noise at motorway speeds, and as we know, a 992 911 is quite a noisy car inside anyway, so this isn't a car to pick for long distance journeys. It is fast. It is fast. It doesn't have quite the instant grip to make you feel sick when you launch it. You sense that the tyres are giving way to the power and torque a little bit, but it's still a properly fast car. Oh yeah, you feel it here when you're in third gear and you boot it. 0-60 is 3.4 seconds. It goes on to about 149 miles an hour, limited because, well, look at it, look at the tyres. Now, one of the reasons this is one of my favourite 911s to drive is because it moves around a bit more than a standard 911 on sticky rubber does. Because it's got those knobbly tyres, you feel the chassis movements at slightly more normal and legal road speeds. Yeah, because it's got that suspension, it soaks up bumps pretty well as well. Now, you do have to be a bit careful because all 911s are really set up to understeer initially, so you have to turn it in on the brakes, and it's just more pronounced in this. It's like they've really extracted the basic 911 chassis rudiments and made them really obvious, even to me, by giving it less grip. Now, the ride, although it is on longer travel suspension, is still like a firm 911, but you've just got more dive on the brakes, and when you turn into a corner the body moves more, and you probably can't hear me but in rally mode you just feel it kind of gently four-wheel drifting as you boot it out of a corner, and it's utterly addictive. It is a brilliant 911. I don't really need the off-road stuff that this car can do, and as we've seen in this video, it can handle the only kind of off-roading I'm ever likely to do. But all of that off-roady stuff does make it more enjoyable on a spirited drive. Yes, it's drony and a bit annoying at motorway speeds, but I did get 41 miles per gallon out of this on a kind of 50-60 limit motorway drive the other day. I'm now getting 22, but I think you can easily get 33 on a 70 mile an hour cruise, but... And the 8-speed PDK gearbox kicks down at exactly the right time, like it always has done. So yeah, to sum up the giggling thoughts, this is a 911 that accentuates everything a 911 does because it's got less grip. It rolls more in corners, it dives more on the brakes, and also the body control is not obviously as good as in a more tied down road biased one. But how often on the public road are you going to make the most of a GT3? That would just annoy me by being overly firm all the time. And you have got the Porsche dynamic chassis control button here to stiffen things up if you need to. But yeah, it's just a great car. It's just a fun car. There you go, just a very quick example. I'm now doing 70 miles an hour in a dual carriageway, and I'm getting quite a lot of noise from the back end of the car. Lots of knobbly tyre noise and just general road roar. And I feel like I'm having to talk louder than I should do really to speak to you. So yeah, it's fine. I also don't have radar cruise, I've just got normal cruise, but so what? I've got an off-road 911. But anyway, let's crack on. Right, to conclude, why did Porsche build the 911 Dakar? Was it just because they all got drunk at the Christmas party and someone made a bet? Well, maybe. Obviously, they've got Dakar heritage for the 911 to celebrate as well, but whatever. I think they've just made a car that's loads of fun. I mean, yes, it's a lot of money for something that's just a bit of fun, but you could daily this, you could have some fun, you could park it up covered in mud in London and all that good stuff. But actually, as a road car, it's very 911-y. That sounds like a silly thing to say, but you just feel everything happening underneath you. You feel it moving around. I'm going to do the motoring journalist twerking bum wiggle to signify that. It is a lovely thing. It is a really lovely thing. Whether I would pay 180 grand for it over, you know, a Carrera 4S for my needs, probably not, but it is different and it is cool. However, usually limited edition Porsches, like your GT3s, your GT3 RSs, okay, they're not limited, but they're special. Those end up costing way more on the second-hand market than they do new. These Dakars, there's a load on Auto Trader for less than they cost new, so these are depreciating. So if you fancy a go in one of the weirdest 911s of modern times, but also one of the most fun, go and get one. Or a Skoda Fabia diesel, whatever tickles your pickle. But yeah, I still haven't driven a 911 I don't like, which is quite annoying because I sometimes really want to stick the boot into Porsche, but you just can't because they make bloody good cars. Anyway, if you made it this far, well done, thank you very much. Hit like, subscribe, go down to the comments and leave me the German word for Tim. Why are there frogs in the exhaust pipe? See you next time. Cheers.